Hello and welcome back to Seriously Good TV and Lockdown Mark 2. Unfortunately, this means we have now lost 2 more presenters from the studio side. Leave it just me. That's the bonus of being part of the college now. I'm allowed to be here this time round. Don't panic though, we will be seeing Oscar and Taz via Zoom later on, so long as the technology gods are on our sides. All this also explains why I'm back on this side of the camera and not over there. I have, however, had the chance to enjoy editing this and the last shoot. Anyways, we have a little intro clip to show you what we're going to be talking about today. For some generations, this might send a shiver down your spine if you saw this on your TV. Studio, roll it.
Nuclear explosions are caused by weapons such as H-bombs or atom bombs.
Here is a reminder of what the air attack warning sounds like. After an attack,
You may have to stay in your home for about 14 days. After a fallout warning, you have been advised to take cover in your inner refuge. You should by now have built up an emergency reserve of tinned food. After an attack, fires will start in many places. You must now choose a room in your home which will give
If we
the
are
best
attacked
protection
by nuclear
from
weapons,
fallout dust gives off dangerous radiation. A warning may come quite unexpectedly. After a nuclear attack, a nuclear explosion produces intense heat. When you take cover in your inner refuge, after an air attack, your water taps may run dry. After an attack is over,
So that little clip that you just saw me edit was nuclear war preparations that was sent out in the UK in the 70s to try and help out and make people feel a little bit more safer. This time was known as the Cold War. Now, I won't get into too many details yet, but some of the Sirius team were not lucky enough to see an actual bunker here in the UK. I really wanted to be on this shoot as I have a massive interest in this period of history. Still, I'm hoping to learn a lot from today and put Taz and Oscar to the test to see what they have learned from their experience. So, without further ado, let's crack on. Sorry Taz, I know you love saying it, but studio, roll the BT.
Today, some of the Sirius team take a dive into the not-too-distant past with a visit to a nuclear bunker. Originally built in 1952 to serve part of Britain's air defence network, it would serve as the London Sector Operations Centre of RAF Fighter Command.
Hello guys, today we're at the secret nuclear bunker located in Kelvedon Hatch, and I'm here with Oscar, Tamsin and Layla.
The team will take a look around the bunker, which is 125 foot underground and is accessed from an innocent looking bungalow which is actually the opening to a 91 metre tunnel. For all those years, the local population had no clue of its existence. The bunker was constructed by Peter Linden Company, who indeed still trade today. Constructed over 3 floors, it could house hundreds of people for up to 3 months and indeed had its own air conditioning system, mains water supply and borehole, generators, radio and telecommunications equipment. Indeed, the only clue to its existence was the radio mast.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh my. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, fun tunnel. This is well creepy. Oh no. I'm not lying, I'm getting a bit anxious because I just don't like being underground. Like, even when I'm at a McDonald's restaurant and I go underground and then you can't see outside. Like, imagine how long, like, I have no idea how much food they must have had down here, but how long they must have planned to survive down here.
Man, I feel so claustrophobic.
Because how would they know when it's safe to go back up if someone actually decimated? Good old science.
Well, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, look,
Okay, so
this-
those are the different segments of the bunker. Okay, so top floor's living quarters, middle is government depths, and bottom is communications plant and military. But there is a small plant room.
Plant room?
Yeah.
Oh, air filtering. So if a bomb hit it, the bunker would shake and like this whole thing would... Oh, nice.
Yeah, but there's shock gravel.
So this is really heavy. It's about the weight of a family car.
The weight of a family.
It's so
I
heavy.
mean, you can move it slightly.
Yeah.
So this is, if they were in this section then, would they still be detected?
I guess not. I don't know. It's not that deep and it doesn't have any much protection. This is where they would communicate with
Oh my god.
outside.
Oh my god.
This just kind of feels really surreal right now. You guys want a bazooka?
Oh,
It's just-
guys, can you actually imagine being here back then?
It's just shocking that it got to this extent where people were this terrified that they were willing to lock themselves underground. God knows how long.
Crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, the further and further down I get, the more anxious I get, and I rarely get anxious. It looks fairly modern to be fair.
Yeah. Can you imagine people
That
going
looks
down
really
there?
cool over there. The other two are somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Probably gonna try and scare us. I don't know. Let's just walk through.
So this is like communication effectively.
Yeah. So then they would have only been communicating with other bunkers underneath.
Is this like, so I know like old computers would be like huge.
Yeah.
So this could theoretically be like a huge computer.
Yeah. No, because I think in the old-fashioned days, like, to link people to different phones, like with the machines, they had wires which they physically had to link up. So like you dialed a number, and then there would be people in stations like this having to link you up to different intercoms. But obviously they were probably just doing it like underground to other underground nuclear bunkers, because if it actually got blown up, then the only people that would survive are people down here. So like, hi guys.
Ah, Sergeant Layla, how are you? No response, as per usual.
So it looks like there's radios, but they wouldn't even be able to connect to a radio station.
Yeah, there's no service.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I assume these link in like things.
Okay, so this room must have been like where they're messaging.
Well, this,
Oh my God, do you reckon that-
messages?
Oscar, you know that I can't talk. You know you were talking about there being like tunnels underneath. Could there possibly be tunnels that were like going on for miles, connecting people to different nuclear bunkers?
I have absolutely no idea.
I mean, imagine how cool that'd be. Because how else would they get these messages
Hey,
out
look.
if they can't
Oscar.
literally go outside?
Hey, it's me. That's cool. That's what I was saying. Oh, and that's what we.
Now, food.
You guys want a cake?
Stock enough for everybody.
Guys, should we try some cakes? What are these for? I don't know.
Well, it's like
You may not be able to cook anything hot.
Polypropylene. Polypropylene. Oh, this is how they would. This is where they would check the radiation levels, and they would.
By the way, don't forget your
check the
thermometer
radiation levels.
so much protection.
and
Got it.
coffee.
I understand now.
Windows and set
So
fire
I'm guessing
into
there's a
your
sort
home.
of warnings that people got
But there
told
are
in case
steps
of
you can take now to cut
bombs.
down the risk.
Basically, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of mad
First,
because
whiten your windows with white paint
I
to
can't remember what
reflect
to
some
say
of the
now.
heat
It's
away.
like
This will
it
cut down the
reflects
risk
how
of these fires.
we are in this situation with this country today, going with Brexit and stuff.
Then get rid
And
of
like
junk
our teachers
lying
go on
about
about
in your
stockpiling
attic
toilet
and
roll and like rice and
Especially
tea
old
bags and stuff
papers
like that.
and
And what we just watched
magazines,
literally
which
reminds
can
me
catch
of Brexit right now. All
The
the
heat from the bomb
stockpiling that
strikes
people were
at
telling us
attics
we
and
should do.
other
And it
floors
actually
most
happened
easily.
in the past. People got sent out
And
as
fires
warnings and
there
stuff
are
like
usually
that.
the hardest
Can't
to
imagine
cut.
that.
So pay
Yeah,
I'm
particular
being
attention
really
to these
quiet,
steps.
but that's because I'm genuinely
In other
like I'm
parts of the
genuinely
building,
like
clear away
anxious
papers
or
and
genuinely like
magazines.
in shock that I'm just
Then
quiet.
net curtains for windows.
And it's really weird
And
to
any
imagine that
rubbish
people would
inside
be
or
living like
outside
this
your home,
with this
which is likely
impending
to catch
threat
fire.
constantly there.
Just fear that one day.
Small fires can be put out easily if they
Yeah, should we
are
keep going?
at once.
This is where whoever the Prime Minister at the time would like record for BBC Radio and find out what's going on. It says it on the door. Like broadcast things to the nation. The attack warning would also have been broadcast from here. The photo on the wall is of the room as it was in the 1980s.
Where's the photo?
So that one there, that's what it looked like.
If you had the choice between being wiped out up there or living down here, I don't know about you, but I might choose to be wiped out.
Really?
Because you don't know how long would you be stuck down here. You don't know. Like, would anyone really be willing to go out there? Like, you saw the suits. They're so thin. Like,
Yeah, no, like I
they're
don't
not
see the
going to
point in that.
protect
That's
anyone.
not gonna help.
They're
Listen,
not.
why do you think that Einstein said that if the next war was fought with the atom bomb, then the one after that would be fought with bow and arrows? Do you think there's any truth in that? Yeah, because everyone would be dead. They'd have to start the civilization again. He was a clever man. He's very clever. Jeez, what is it? No idea. This is the NBC suit.
Oscar, sorry, if you don't talk, stay with me.
This is the nuclear biological chemical. These suits totally encase the wearer in the top. I guess it's that. So they would go in there and they would be absolutely fine. Isn't it that? Yeah.
That's it.
Again, that's terrifying.
I'm not even kidding. This is literally like being buried alive.
Oh no.
Would you rather
What's
be
this?
stuck down here?
Imagine all the lights just turned off. That would be mad. So what is Oh look, service work. Service work was carried out here, so I suppose I would just make the tools that they need.
Okay, great. So, Yolanda, how are you feeling? I normally just ramble loads, but if I'm genuinely like kind of in shock or something, I'm just quiet, something quite quiet, I feel like. I don't
Yeah,
really-
I don't think we realised the extent of how bad this was. Like, because they called it the Cold War, and we all know what the Cold War is, where it just started from World War II, and the Russians were mad at the Germans because they got damaged the most.
Yeah.
We knew that, we knew how it led to this, but we didn't realise like how big it impacted people. So we saw like a video of people literally having to make their own toilets out of chairs and a bag, and that was
Yeah.
it.
No, it was a bucket,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
within the bucket there was a bag,
like,
and then you
chair
had to cut out.
crammed
Yeah.
They were living in constant fear of what had just occurred, and they were just in permanent shock of what could happen to them, what could happen to their children, what could happen to their future generations. And it's scary because what's going on at the moment, it could happen now.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. Yeah.
I think
exactly.
everyone just was really paranoid and on edge
Yeah.
because there's this looming fear of everyone's life just ending like that, especially with nuclear
Yeah.
bombs.
And if that did happen, none of us would be it.
Right, get up now! Time to get moving! Get up now!
Up until the early 90s, the UK Home Office maintained it as an emergency regional government defence site in readiness should a nuclear war have been triggered. The team will not only consider how it must have felt to the general population of that era, but we should also think about the service personnel and government officials. Some will get through the blast doors to survive, probably knowing their friends and families wouldn't, and those that would be remaining on the other side of those same doors to stand guard and await their fate.
So, what is your opinion on nuclear weapons?
Seeing the effect that they could have on people, I think it's just best to get rid of them.
Yeah, but then Jeremy Corbyn says that we should ban them, like you just said. But really, the threat of nuclear bombs have stopped people starting another war because they know that after one switch, it's all gone.
But just seeing the impact that they could have, I just feel like it's best to get rid of them.
Well, I think the impact that they could have, but if people were more aware around them, I think it's there for, in case something I think they should use it for not what they're using it for at the moment.
As weapons.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're
I
not
think
using them as weapons at the moment, are they?
They're just
using them as
using them
fear.
as
They're
threat.
using it as a scare tactic almost. And I know that, well, it depends really. If they were actually gonna do it, then I don't think it.
Isn't there that fact that if there's 10 nuclear bombs go off, then the world ends?
Exactly. So who would be stupid enough
Yeah.
just to get back at another country to then end their own life as well? No one would be that stupid. That's why, in a way, they are good because they play fear in people.
Exactly. And I think that with them is making people sort of more aware of the impact that something could do. Yeah. And so I think that they should stay as, I don't know, I think they should stay.
But I don't think this ongoing fear and anxiety that the bombs are creating is necessarily healthy for people.
It creates fear, but what else? It's if something does actually happen, then what then?
If something does actually happen, then I reckon whichever zone it impacts, the people are just going to be gone, because I don't think there's much awareness of the nuclear weapons, if they actually go off, the impact that they could have on people. Yes, we had the whole incident in Chernobyl, and we're seeing the impact of that, but as people, humans, haven't been affected besides that. I don't think we're really aware of what could happen and how we would survive. Right guys, so we just finished looking around the nuclear bunker in Kelvedon Hatch. So if you want to find out more about the history of the Cold War and learn more about the living conditions that people could have genuinely had to go through if a bomb did go off, then get yourselves down here. There's also an escape room nearby, and high ropes.
Hello, and welcome back to the studio. We've seen some of the comments. So for one of them, hello to Mel. I've been told that you're Oscar's aunt, and it's nice to see you and have joined us today. What was seen on the VT was did look really interesting. It looked like the team was really properly thinking about it. It certainly did me when I first saw it and was editing through it. It did seem that they had some good chats towards the end as well. It's a really good time though to get a, maybe like talk to them for a bit, which is luckily what we're going to be doing now. We have got Oscar and Taz next to me today, digitally, on Zoom. So hello guys, how are you guys doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, we can hear them both. Hooray, this is amazing. Right, so now we can have a little talk with these guys about their little experience at the bunker. So let's start. So Oscar, I heard when I was talking to Nick about this, your dad, he said that he knew about this quite early on in his life. Do you know more about this?
Yeah, I actually do. So he said when he was younger, he was always really scared about nuclear war breaking out.
Yeah.
And he also said how people would say that if you could get to Kelvedon Hatch, you would be safe.
Yeah.
Which he never understood at that time because it was just down the road from him.
Right.
But years later, he realised that there was actually a nuclear bunker there. And he also said about how the school children were at his school would say how the videos, like the ones that we watched at the beginning, they wouldn't work and nobody really believed them.
Damn, that's crazy. Is that talking about the videos that we saw at the start, the wartime videos? Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Well, now, of course, it seems like a good time to put you guys to a test. It's been a while since you've been to the bunker, but it's time now for you guys to have a little quiz about it. So I prepared some questions, and we'll do a little point system. Can one of the guys behind give me a little yelp that you guys are going to keep count of score? Will do. Brilliant. Thank you very much. With scoring, let's go with whoever makes a noise first. Whatever noise you want to make. Just make a noise. Or you can raise your hand, or you can do both.
I'll clap.
You can clap. That's good. That's a good one. Whoever does that first gets to answer the question first. And then whoever gets it right wins. All right? Brilliant. Let's begin with our first question. Our first question is, if I remember, when was the bunker you visited first built? Here's a hint before you answer. It was in the VT. Right. Free throw. Brilliant. Taz. Right, we got our first answer.
19.
That's a good, that's good. It's good to around that time. 50.
52.
Sounds like you were guessing there, Taz.
Well-educated one, obviously.
Well, guess what, Taz? That was a very well-educated guess, because you got it right. Well done. No, that's really surprising. Maybe it's just like stuck in the back of your mind or something. No, that's really impressive.
I clearly did really well in my GCSEs on the Cold War.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, good for us, eh? Right, so 1-0 to Taz. Question 2. How deep was the bunker underground? Another hint, it was also in the VT. Oh, here we go, Taz again, taking control.
125. I think I remember someone converted it into like 38 meters when we were there.
Damn, well done. Wow, that's even more impressive. I mean, like, you put it into meters.
Don't worry, I don't know why I have this knowledge. It's just kind of in here somewhere,
I mean,
floating around with the single brain cell.
To us, I'll take your word for it, because my math skills are, Anyways, let's go on to the next one here. Just to clarify, Oscar, there's no pressure behind it. You're 2 points behind, so let's try and get back up here now.
I will win.
Thanks, Elliot.
Oh, right. Question 3.
Tamsin, you're on. You're on, Tamsin.
Oh, competitiveness. We like to hear this. Right. Question 3. How long was the tunnel? Oh, here we go.
90 meters.
Oh, close. Good guess though, but not
how
quite.
close?
Oscar, this is your chance, mate. This is your chance. This is where you can take the lead.
Okay. So Taz said 90, right?
Yes.
And so you said that it was like super close.
True.
Okay? So it's either 89 or 91. So I'm going to pick between one of those two. It's 50-50. I am going to go with 91.
91. Oscar chose 91. Well, Oscar can indeed say you went with the right answer, Oscar. Well done. It is indeed 91 meters.
I think I could get half a mark for that.
No. I mean, you can't say that and be in the lead. You can say that when you're not in the lead. You can't say that when you're in the lead, right? What's the score?
But
2-1. Right, brilliant. Question 4. Bearing in mind the bunker could house hundreds of people, how long do you think their supplies would last? What do you think, guys? Oscar, come on.
2 months.
Oh, nope. That is incorrect. Taz, it's up to you now.
a single month.
Ooh, you're both, to be honest, very close. You're both very close with it. But the actual answer was 3 months. So,
Well, I was closer, so do I get a point? I was like, very
I mean, I'd love to give you a point there, Oscar. But, to be honest, Taz did have a point that she was only 1 meter off with the last question. So I'm going to say no. But I still think you got it in you to take the lead again. So let's keep going.
That's how you're going to be. Very disappointed.
So,
So cruel and unforgiving.
I'm sorry. Don't make me feel bad like that. Don't make me feel bad.
Sorry, that was meant to be.
So, 2-1 to Taz. Either can still win. There's still a lot of questions left. The next questions, though, are going to be about the Cold War in general, and we're going to take a little break to educate the guys at home and you guys just a little bit of context about the Cold War itself, because I feel like it's such a deep, important topic that isn't really clarified. The closer we've come to the end of humanity, and you know, some people don't even know how it even came about. So that's what I'm about to talk to you guys about today. So as I mentioned, I've been fascinated about the Cold War era for a long time. I think it's just the most fascinating part of it all is just how could countries that fought alongside each other in World War II now are at each other's necks over how each country will run and who is controlling what land. Can we get the pictures up, guys, from the studio? Brilliant. This didn't happen over time, however. For a long time, Western democracies have been concerned about the Soviets, who are the Russians, essentially, after they kept control over the European countries and turned them into communist puppet states. The West didn't want the spread of communism to get to other countries, continents, and even internationally. The USSR, on the other hand, resented Western nations, thinking they were out to destroy their country, and so they created this barrier of countries known as the Eastern Bloc, filled with now communist government regimes to protect the USSR from the capitalist countries they thought were out to destroy them. This has lasted decades, in particular with the United States. The USSR also hugely distrusted the US after they lied about the nuclear bomb. Next picture, please. As we can see, we see Hiroshima's bombs. These were the bombs that they had lied and kept secret away from the Russians. And the president at the time, Truman, spoke very passionately about his hate for communism. This tension grew with countries picking either side, known as the Communist East or Capital West. Both sides improved weaponry, known as the arms race. Nobody was really to blame in their own right, but distrust was ripening nonetheless. From 1947, the West in general, but in particular the US, believed containment to be the option to expect it to last decades. Next picture, please. We can see from 1949, Western allies worked together under the banner of NATO and the USSR and its allies under the Warsaw Pact. There was obviously the arms race, with the US testing hydrogen bombs in the 50s, as we can see in the next picture, and demonstrating the huge destructive capability, soon dwarfing the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The USSR followed suit. There were also less destructive races, such as the space race, as you can see in our next photo, with an attempt to constantly one-up each other's accomplishments. Tensions also ran deep within Western countries, with anything seen as politically subversive or communist in nature quickly and ruthlessly being stamped down on. Of course, there was huge paranoia, as we can see in the next photo, we see with the various spy organizations from all sides being very active and equally ruthless. This is a topic in itself, to be honest, talking about all this stuff. Russia was not only the country on the radar of the US. As we can see in the next photo, we can see pictures from Korea in the 50s and Vietnam effectively from 1955 to 1975. It saw horrendous conflict in the main stemming from the same reasons. Communist influence in the north of each country and democratic elements in the south. Of course, we still see the legacy in North and South Korea today. Such divisions post-war were seen more. Locally to US and Europe, with Germany ultimately being divided up, as we can see in the next photo, becoming communist East Germany and democratic West Germany. Even the city of Berlin was divided by the iconic hated Berlin Wall, as we can see in the next photo. Built in 1961, stopping many Berliners from escaping the communist east side to the more prosperous west side. Many citizens tried to move to western areas and were sometimes ruthlessly mowed down by guard towers. It has to be said though, only very few went the other way. This symbol of the Cold War came down in 1989, as seen in the photo next. All those tensions were most obviously borne out to the public by the increase in nuclear weapons as well as military might in general. Public information films, such as the one we see at the start, as well as the one that we can see on the screen, were usually regulated to calm the nerves of a jittery population, but the fear never left the people of this era. To protect command structures, sensitive sites, and indeed people considered crucial to any future, buildings such as our bunker had to be built. It is thought that 14 such bunkers were in the UK alone. As you can see in the next photo, you see Kelvedon Hatch. Of course, not all may have been revealed. And who's to say many new bigger and better facilities have been made in the case of World War III? Have we ever come close to the war actually happening? Certainly. The closest we have come to the destruction of mankind itself was the Cuban Missile Crisis. Tensions continue to rise and probably peaked in 1961 when in the next photo we see JFK as the president, we see Khrushchev on the left, and we see Fidel Castro in the middle. The Soviet Union had transported missiles to Cuba after the communists had a communist uprising. The Cuban Missile Crisis was probably the most closest we have come to all-out nuclear war. Again, a subject in itself is a truly terrifying moment. As a side note, it is believed that during the Falklands War, Margaret Thatcher threatened to drop a nuclear bomb on the Argentine capital if the French and the President François Mitterrand, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, also if we look at the next slide, did not give the codes to deactivate the missiles known as the Exocets that the French supplied to Argentina. This was triggered when a French missile fired from a French aircraft struck an English warship, killing and injuring many. President Mitterrand is said to have agreed, stating later that, "It is a good thing I gave way, otherwise the Iron Lady's metallic finger would have surely hit the button." He supposedly vowed revenge by saying that he would build a tunnel from France to England and ruin the island status. Anyways, sorry, that's a slightly off topic, but interesting if it's true. Back on topic comes the era of Nixon, short era. An effort was made to stabilize relations with the communist government, Chinese government that is, and together with the USSR President Brezhnev. This then became a time known as the détente, as seen in the next photo, where many nuclear treaties were signed to try and lower nuclear weapons. This was ended, however, when the USSR invaded Afghanistan. Come the Reagan era. As we can see in the next photo, this is Reagan. He fought fiercely against anything communist. However, the USSR itself was disintegrating through economic and political issues. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev became president of the USSR, as seen in the next photo, and introduced two key policies. Perestroika, which was to try and help the economy and the workers at the time, and glasnost, which was the political openness allowing more freedom of speech and criticism to be allowed. Because during the time of communist regime in the USSR, they had no criticism and no just any kind of backlash in any sorts. By 1989, every communist country in the region replaced its government with a non-communist one. This, in many cases, was bloody and hard one. By 1991, the Soviet Union had fallen apart too. It's seen in the next image. Gorbachev himself didn't stop this change. By 1991, stood down, being replaced by Boris Yeltsin, as seen in the next photo. Thanks to Western pressure, in particular from Reagan and Thatcher, his own strength and will of his people, Gorbachev was in a position to say that these words when he stood aside. Next photo, please. We're now living in a new world. An end has been put to the Cold War and to the arms race, as well as to the mad militarization of the country, which has crippled our economy, public attitudes, and morals. That was said on Christmas Day, 1999. The mighty Soviet Union had fallen, and along with it, the Cold War. Now, please, back to me, please. I've seen those images. Now, hello, nice to see you again. I guess now we faced very different enemies, but the threat of nuclear war has never gone away entirely. I'm afraid to say it. So, anyways, that is a long talk, and I apologize. But on that bombshell, back to the quiz and a final 5 questions. I hope you guys are now refreshed and pumped for this.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really listening.
Typical Taz, that is.
I was very much focusing on the owl that's outside my window.
Right, yes. Well, Taz, I'm going to call you out here. You and me did GCSE history, so, and one of the topics is Cold War, so I'm hoping you've got this in the bag, all right?
If not, my teacher's going to cry.
No pressure, all right? No pressure. You're at an advantage here. So let's see you win. Okay. What was the name of the famous checkpoint in Berlin? That is your 5th question. Oh, Oscar has got it.
I actually do know this one. Checkpoint Charlie, and yeah, Berlin Wall.
Oh, bang on, Oscar. Well done. I'm actually very impressed by that. For people who don't know, it was the main crossing between East and West Berlin after the building of the Berlin Wall. Built to stop Eastern citizens defecting to the West. That's how many points is that now, guys? I think it was 2-1, and Oscar. Yeah, it's 2-2 now. Right. It's a draw. It's a tie. 4 questions to go now. Question 6. Why did Stalin blockade food from getting into West Germany? Or West Berlin, sorry. Taz?
To move the people in the West to the East.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, West from the East. Yes, that is correct. Yes, yeah. He also hoped that the US might just withdraw from Berlin entirely, because as you saw on the map earlier, we had West and East Berlin, East Germany, sorry, and in East Germany we had Berlin, and Berlin was split. So there was a tiny little pocket of West Berlin in the eastern place, and Stalin did not like that. Stalin did not like that at all. Stalin wanted Germany punished like what happened in World War I due to Germany's betrayal plus the massive loss and toll the war took on the Russians. Western allies wanted to rebuild it and make Germany a great place again. So that is 3-2 now. Taz has taken the lead again. So, question 7. How did the allies get around this blockade? Oh, tricky one. Oh, Oscar's going for it. Oh, after lots of thought.
Okay. So, I think my dad told me about this. So, my dad's a pilot, and I think he said that they drop supplies from airplanes or something like that.
Oh, yes, that's very lucky. Your dad is a pilot, and of course, he knows this. It's because...
I think that's just an advantage I just wouldn't have had.
Yeah, sorry, Taz, yeah.
You have a GCSE in history.
That is true. Oh.
I was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes, so what Oscar is referring to is called the Berlin Airlift. It lasted from 1949 to 1949. It was only a couple months. It was estimated that West Berlin, when it got blocked off, only had food left for like a month and 6 days when it started, which was luckily prevented because they just shipped in a ton of food. So well done, the West Side. This is a very tight game, guys. Very tight game. It's 3-3 now.
It's like 3-all now, isn't it?
Yes, it is 3-all. That is correct. Right. Question.
Tamsin.
These last two are very hard, by the way. I apologize.
I might just let you in.
Okay.
I apologize also because these last two questions are...
panicking now.
These last two questions are very difficult. Right. In 1949, how many founding members of NATO were there? I'll give you choices because this is a really difficult question. You either had the option of 10, 12, or 13. What are we thinking, guys? Taz, what are we saying?
13?
13. That is incorrect. Oscar, you got a 50-50 chance.
Okay, 10 or 12. Okay.
10 or 12?
10.
You're going with 10?
I'm going for 10.
You're going to go for 10. Well, that is incorrect. I'm sorry to say it. It was 12. The middle number. The middle number. Oh. I mean, to be honest, the middle number is always the safest.
Hey. It's still a tie.
Yeah, it is still a tie. For interest's sake, I'm going to have to read this because I don't know how I do this off memory. It's Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, and Portugal. And us, of course, in the UK. Right. It's 3-3. Last question. I didn't know it was going to be this intense. It's actually pretty good that it's this intense. So it makes a good show here. Next one wins. So let's hope that you get it. In 1963, what was the agreed to be banned during a time called détente? You have three choices again. Number 1, limiting the manufacturing nuclear weapons. Number 2, increasing the power of nuclear weapons. Or number 3, testing nuclear weapons. I'll give you time to think. It is a deep question. You want me to repeat it? I can. Taz, here we go.
Might take, yeah. Is it the ban of manufacturing the weapons?
Oh, I'm sorry, Taz. But that is incorrect. Yeah, I was saying about this bit during détente. Détente ended because of the USSR invaded Afghanistan, and then they thought they would just invade the whole of the Middle East, but they eventually got stopped. Right, Oscar, your chance for glory. Your chance to win this. You've got this. I believe in you. 50-50 chance again.
Yes.
Is it limiting the power of nuclear weapons or testing them?
Okay, so I'm going to go for the ban on increasing the power of nuclear weapons.
Okay. Right. So this is for Oscar to win the game. What do we think in the studio? Do you think he's got this? I got a shrug and another shrug. Wonderful. Well, let's build up some tension here, guys. Maybe some drum rolls. There we go, thank you. No, that is indeed the wrong answer. It is the ban on testing weapons, signed by Kennedy and Russia's Nikita Khrushchev. This was nearly derailed by the Cuban Missile Crisis, the downing of a US spy plane, and the holding of its pilot, a kind of iconic pilot called Francis Powers, 2 years earlier. Powers was sentenced to 10 years in prison and hard labor, but released 2 years later in a prisoner exchange. So
I had no idea. I went for the longer answer.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a valid reason. I was completely confused.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, guys. I didn't expect this to end in a little tie. So, guys, I've got two people behind my camera right now. Can one of you drop me a question to ask?
How old is the Queen?
Good question.
What?
Right. Your question to win this and earn a prize. Can I just say too? This is for a prize. There's camera. This is for a prize. They get to win something, and it'll be great. So Taz and Oscar, your question is, how old is the Queen? Oscar.
98.
98. Taz, what are you going with?
Oh, 78.
78. 98. There's a 30-year difference.
Why not? Who's closer?
I would
Is it
guess...
going for who's closer?
Okay, right. Whoever's closer wins. All right. Lucas? Whoever's closest. Can you give me the answer?
What did Oscar say?
Oscar, you said 98.
I said 98.
She is 94 years old.
She is 94 years old. Oscar gets it closer.
I'm being flattering. I was just being very flattering.
So you said she's 78.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know the age of the Queen. She's a mortal to my knowledge.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
What's my prize? What's my prize?
Right, your prize. Well, Oscar, good thing to note. Your prize is two things, right? One, I'll get you some chocolate of your choice. What is your favourite chocolate bar? What is your favourite chocolate bar?
Okay, double decker.
Double decker. Brilliant. Brilliant. And your second prize is you will be able to present our next shoot. So you'll be back here, hopefully, as long as the quarantine isn't awful and we're allowing them back in here. That's fingers crossed. So let's hope that they can have it in 3 weeks' time. Speaking of which, we'll go to the next topic, which is, if I remember off the top of my head, it's the Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper shoot. Thank you, guys. Jack the Ripper shoot. Also, that is it for the whole nuclear bunker shoots. If you want to have yourselves a nice time, go and visit Kelvedon Hatch. I really recommend it. I'm probably going to do it in my own time. I'll probably go with my mum, hopefully, sometime, because we're both very interested in that. And it seems like a good day out. So come back in 3 weeks to learn all about Jack the Ripper and the Victorian Britain. As usual, don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn notifications on. Comment down below. Nice to see you guys are watching this. It's good to be here. I'm pumped. See you all in 3 weeks' time. Thank you. Love you. Before we go, you guys, you got any last words to say?
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy the rest of your day and a goodbye. All right.
See you soon.
Thank you all guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.